What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Vigilante. You're watching the Vigilante Effect, and you have here some gameplay footage in the background of Egypt and Real Madrid. Obviously, a match that would never happen in real life. But really, the topic that I wanted to talk about is what's been going on in the news lately, with the protests all around the world in the Middle East, in Egypt, Libya in specific, Yemen, and other parts of the Middle East regarding a film that came out. Technically, it's not really even an official film, but a film that came out basically insulting the religion of Islam, insulting Muslims, and severely insulting the Prophet of Islam, which is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And I just wanted to touch base on my opinion regarding the whole issue, simply because of the fact that as Muslims, you're supposed to stand up against injustice, regardless of who is the one that's the wrong. If the person is close to you, if they're your mother, they're your father, the Quran tells you that you're supposed to stand up against it regardless of what it is. And two things were done wrong in this whole entire situation, and that is from both parties. One, specifically in Libya, there was a protest which initially seemed to be peaceful and quickly turned violent, and that was on the same day as 9/11. And the protest was, as I said, for supposed to be rooted for that reason, that's against the film. However, there was allegedly some militants in the protest that took advantage of this, and they killed 4 Americans, including the American ambassador, Chris Stevens, of Libya. Now, this act is completely unjustified, regardless of what the video said, regardless of how bad this video degraded or spoke badly about Islam or spoke badly about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, even though he is the dearest person to every Muslim's life. There's no justification for this, absolutely no justification, and whoever was responsible for these attacks during these protests should definitely be taken into account, and if they were to be found guilty, they should be treated as such. They should be treated as murderers, because these people that come in the name of Islam and they call themselves Muslims and they take advantage of situations like this to promote their own political agendas and their own terrorist activities, which are not supported by Islam in any way, shape, or form. And they come and propagate it as if this is them standing up for the religion, and then they try to make you feel guilty as a Muslim if you're not supporting them, because you're not supporting, you're supporting the enemies of Islam. These people are making fun of Islam and you're supporting them as opposed to supporting us. We're not doing anything wrong by committing acts of terrorism such as 9/11, such as the many acts that have been committed throughout the years. They are what they are. They are murderers and they are terrorists. Because this person, Chris Stevens, even if we were to talk about the video and the film, and even if the film was to be deemed as completely wrong, which I'll get to in a second, Chris Stevens had absolutely nothing to do with the video. America itself didn't have, as a whole, it didn't have anything to do with the video as a whole. Meaning, if you're finding it justifiable to go and, let's say, you kill a tourist, he's an American tourist because he's from America. There's the most retarded and insane thing someone can even come up with, and the fact that you can justify it. I mean, how can you not believe that your actions are motivated by the devil? That this is not humane. It's not humane. This is not normal thinking. Oh, someone did something wrong, kill him. Oh, you know what? He's from that same country, kill him too because he's responsible for it. He has nothing to do with it. And even if you were to find some sort of justification for the act, let's say this person was found guilty. Yes, he made the video, and there was some justification. Oh yes, we can kill him. This person that you killed, and these 4 people that you killed, had absolutely nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with the incident. You're screaming, you're killing, and you're burning of embassies have absolutely no progressive results that actually solve the problem or have any rationale to them. And as Muslims, this is not, if you really want to support the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, if you're upset because someone insulted the Prophet, then the thing you're supposed to do is behave like the Prophet. Not, if you want to honor him, you don't honor him by doing the things that he forbade. The Quran clearly states, if you killed a life, it's as if you killed all life. And if you saved a life, it's as if you saved all life. And after polytheism in Islam, polytheism is considered to be the greatest of sins. After polytheism is murder, unjustified murder. And as Muslims, don't think that by standing against another Muslim who is clearly doing something wrong, don't think that you're being a hypocrite. This is or that you're taken away from the religion in any way. You're not. You're supporting the religion. You're supporting Islam because you're actually bringing it to light. You're bringing the truth of it to light. You know, we're not supposed to cover it up and support people that are crazy in their actions just because of the fact that they're Muslims. If they're doing wrong, you treat them as doing wrong. And if you look at the Muslim empire when it was at its golden age, you know why it was at its golden age? It was at its golden age because it was the most tolerant empire, and they actually followed their religion. They didn't just say we should follow our religion and then they acted completely different from it. The reason why the Muslim empire used to be at its golden age was because the Jews and other nations that were prosecuted, they used to be prosecuted by the Pope, and they would run to the Muslim empire to seek haven. And when it was the time of the Crusades, even though the Pope was committing atrocities that are documented in history, this is not an issue of religious argument. I'm a Muslim, so I'm arguing against Christians. This is historical fact that during the time of the Crusades, these are dark times in the history of Christianity. They used to kill people mercilessly, torture people, but Muslims did not succumb to their level. That's why they stayed in their golden empire. They did things properly. They did things through a battle. These people, if they raped their women, the Muslims did not go in and then rape their women. A good movie that kind of gives you some sort of light about this era is Kingdom of Heaven. Even though it doesn't give you all the details, it gives you just a more clear idea. But my point is, the Muslims of back then and the Muslims of today are completely different. We're not, we should really be, as a nation, we should really be ashamed of ourselves. How is it that we want people to really see the beauty of our religion and the truth the truth of our nation, and for people to treat us right? If we, the moment that we see a reason for us to get angry, we just act like savages. Now that's one thing aside. So the action of burning things, destroying property, protest, I don't see anything wrong with protest. Someone does something wrong, you want to protest the government, protest in a peaceful manner, which initially was the case. However, protesting in a violent manner, this is not accepted, neither by religion, nor by reason, nor by intellect, nor by human standards. It's not justified in any way. Especially if you're going to take a life of a person. That is not justified. Now to the other issue, which is what spurred this whole thing. So to give you just a background, I'm going to post all the links to some of the articles down below. But to give you just a background, someone by the name of Nakula Basili, I think his name is, and he's actually a Coptic Christian Egyptian, and he came up with this video. He made this film a while back, and it was just recently that it was propagated in the Middle East in Arabic. And basically the film, all the film does is degrade the Prophet Muhammad in a way that is not accepted at all. And I know right away a lot of people, the first thing that comes to your mind is freedom of speech. First thing comes to a lot of people's mind: freedom of speech. Now, first, before I even go into this whole topic of this film in particular, let's talk about all the people that are involved in this production. There's this guy, Nicola Basili. He is a person with criminal record. He's been sentenced to jail for 8 years, and he's been sentenced to jail for several financial fraud, including bank fraud for about $800,000, and the list goes on and on and on and on. He's a criminal. Secondly, the actors in the video or in the movie, I would even consider it a film, because it's not even, it's certain segments here and there, and it's very poorly made. But anyway, the actors that are involved in the film, they themselves, they came out and they said that they were deceived by this individual. They had no idea that it was going to be portrayed in that manner. They initially thought that it was just a film about Arabia, and it had no insults or anything like that. And the script that was given to them was different than the script that was actually portrayed in the film itself. So I don't know what exactly was going on there. But another person that helped promote this video is Terry Jones. Now, this man, Terry Jones, he's one of the upfront supporters of anti-Islamic propaganda. He's basically completely anti-Islam. He doesn't want, his statements were, I would support this video or this film and any effort that brings to light radical Islam. Now, just this term, radical Islam, this is intolerant. This is not American, all right? This is not American. If you think you're going to be supporting things like this because of freedom of speech, you're not actually going by American values. So if you're going to support stuff like that, don't call yourself an American. Don't say, I'm following the Constitution, I'm a proud American with proud American values. You don't have American values if you support things like this. If you're supporting the degradation of an entire religion, and the propagation of misinformation, the promotion of hate against a whole entire people that make a fifth of the world, the support and the lack of sensitivity to the deaths all around the world of all Muslims and Arabs and anybody in the Middle East, and the lack of tolerance towards different religious views. This is not American. America, we have our freedom of speech, but we have limited speech. We can't go and scream fire in a theater. We can't go and spread hate speech. If you go to a job, you can't spread rumors. You can get in trouble for that. You can get fired for that, just by spreading rumors. Oh, well, it's freedom of speech. Okay. You can't curse on TV when it's public TV that children can watch. You can't curse on regular channels. It's not proper. It's not allowed. And the list goes on. You can't make threats. It's illegal. But we have free speech. So now here's the question. Why is it so hard to have free speech but also respect others? And respect the religious views of others. And respect the feelings and emotions of others. For Muslims, the Prophet Muhammad is more beloved than our own mother, than our own father, than our families. This is a person whom we truly believe as Muslims that he was truly the messenger of God. And then if you're going to come and you're going to say, I'm not even going to repeat any of the things that were said in the video, but it was just, if you can think of someone talking about your mom and then calling her a whore, I mean, come on. Are you going to seriously stand in front of someone who's calling your mother a whore, and you're gonna be okay with it? I guarantee you, if you had the utmost respect for your mother, you would not even stay there without punching the guy in the face. But the point is, everyone says freedom of speech, but no one says freedom of speech when it comes to their own mother. And no one wants restricted speech when it comes to them being able to speak. So it's a big hypocrisy. So the point of this video, first of all, as Muslims, we should be condemning these actions. There's no justification for any of these actions. But second of all, we shouldn't back down from some propaganda and hate speech that is continuously starting to grow and grow and grow. For some reason, some people, they think they can just get away with cursing another person's beliefs. You know, as Muslims, it's forbidden, it's not allowed for Muslims to curse another religion. It's not allowed to curse another God. And the reason that it was given in the Quran is that they don't make fun. You don't give them a reason to make fun of God himself. We have to have respect for everybody's religion and everybody's views. At the same token, I'd like to highlight that the protesters, not all the protesters obviously were wrong, and in Libya in specific, a lot of Libyans gathered and they apologized, and you see there's protests apologizing to America for what happened, showing that they don't agree with what happened. That at the end of the day, as the president said it himself, and I love that the President Obama and Hillary Clinton, I love the way that they came up and they condemned the violence, and they showed absolutely no remorse in condemning it, but at the same time they still held the respect for the Muslims. I really appreciate that our president came and actually gave some support for Muslims, showing that America does not support making films such as this that degrade other religions, and they recognize that this is a small population out of the entire population. This is not the whole of, let's say, Libya. This is not the whole of Egypt. This is not the whole of Yemen. These are a small number of people that came and they did this. They don't represent the entire population, and the populations themselves, they condemned this. And the president of Egypt, the new elected president Morsi from Egypt, he came up on TV and he specifically condemned all of the murders, but at the same time he said, when you talk about the Prophet Muhammad, there's a red line. There's a red line you cannot cross. But at the same time, there is no justification for any of these murders. There's no justification for any of the actions against the American embassies, and we should be more tolerant. That's been a Vigilante Effect. I hope you guys enjoyed. For the Muslims out there, please don't feel offended by this. This is not something that I'll be the first person to stand up and defend Islam if someone says something bad about it. But at the same time, you have to say what's right when the time is right, and you have to condemn the wrong when that time comes. And terrorism, there's no supporting it. There's nothing in Islam that supports it. Regardless of any of the wrong that's been done to Muslims, just because a wrong has been done to us doesn't mean that we should go indulge in the wrong. You will never get justice through injustice. And Islam and Allah and Muhammad, peace be upon him, never taught us any of these things. He taught us always to be good and to deal with things in a better way. Don't succumb to someone's low level. As people, as humans, we're better than this. We have morals. We don't go and just haphazardly do things. But at the same time, I strongly agree with protesting in general regarding issues like this, and speaking up in general regarding issues like this, because this is not acceptable. Either the murders or the making of such a film or anything that's similar to this. Advertisements, recent advertisements going on in MTA and on buses and trains, talking about Palestinians being savages, or talking about Islam being a savage religion, or saying bad things. It's just not. It's not normal. You know, a sane person would see there's something wrong with that. Something is not right with that. This is not something that a good person would support. It just doesn't make sense. Regardless of what bad someone might have done, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna go and do something bad to them. It's been the Vigilante Effect. This is what I had to say about this topic. And also, I wanted to recommend that you guys check out a channel. One of my friends, LondonsFinest Gamer. He recently just made a new channel. He used to have a channel called Abu Sufyan, and he recently started from fresh. Basically, has a whole bunch of gameplays, a whole bunch of videos. I love his videos. I look forward to his videos all the time, and I watch every single video. So I really do find him interesting. It's not just I'm just shouting him out just because he's a friend, but I really enjoy his stuff. So take some time to check him out. I have his information in the description below, and you can check this tab right here. Also, you can check the articles below for more details. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.